One of the main reasons why you're here is probably the hot topic on LinkedIn of the moment, and that is the Top Voices program. Now, the Top Voices program is really interesting in an evil genius kind of way. I suspect the idea behind LinkedIn's Top Voices community articles is multifold. But the main thing is that they have built these articles around questions that are commonly asked to search engines. So these articles are search engine optimized to become the article of choice that shows up in a search engine first when somebody searches for a specific question. That's interesting because it means it can bring people from outside your world onto LinkedIn to look at the article where you have been a contributor. And if your contributions are high quality and show what you have to offer, you might be bringing in those people as followers because they're interested in exactly the questions that you answer and the problems that you solve. And that means to me, potential clients. So let's see how this whole process works. LinkedIn generates articles based on commonly asked questions, and then it has usually a 7-point structure where it gives a description and invites experts on LinkedIn to contribute their own views. You can be one of those experts, and I will be sharing a link to where you can find the topics in the description to this video. But here's the thing, you can get this thing horribly wrong. When I saw the Top Voices program, I thought this is something I need to experiment with. Game on. I did, and I got 2 LinkedIn Top Voices badges within 3 weeks of starting my experiment. Probably a little bit less, it must have been around 2 weeks. But I also made a massive mistake. I was contributing to articles that interested me rather than the articles that are topics on which I want to be consulted as an expert. I got LinkedIn Top Voices badge in the categories of public speaking and presentations, both of which I love to do and I love to advise people on. But I don't want to be known as a public speaking or presentation coach. I want to be known for building personal brands and media strategy. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and as we speak, I'm on my next experiment to get a LinkedIn Top Voices badge for personal branding, which is the area in which I want to be known. So don't make my mistake. The first mistake was to simply contribute randomly. Don't do that. Decide on the topic that you want to be known for and zone in on that. How often do you need to contribute? Well, I was contributing significantly to get my badges, and I would suggest that you contribute to at least 1 article a day over a period of 2 weeks. But you might find that you get really excited about the articles and you actually start doing more. Now, before you do that, here is another very important clue. We know now that these articles are written around common questions, so there's a lot of interest in these topics. Interest means there are opportunities, right? So if you can make use of the information that you get from these articles, you can actually create your own content around that, since you're going to be creating your own input on the article anyway. For that input in each article segment, you can only add 750 characters. 750 characters is enough for a very short piece. So how are you going to make sure that people like that? Because when they see your article contribution, they will only see the beginning. So you need to catch them right at the beginning, and then they will decide if they want to keep reading. From there, they may like your post, and they'll have an opportunity to follow you. There's no place to comment. All they can do is like or follow you. Hopefully, they'll do both. But they'll only do both if you really give them value. How can you give them value? Well, you need to catch them in that first sentence. So I recommend using a 5-piece structure to your comment on an article like this. It's helped me to rise through the ranks into the public speaking top voice category, and I believe it's going to do the same in this experiment for personal branding. The first thing to put in there is what we call in the business a hook. The hook, like for catching a fish, we won't be that brutal. You want to catch your ideal client or the reader or the follower who's going to be interested in what you have to say. So make that first sentence count. You could make it a question that is related to the section of the article. You could also make it a statement that will interest people. And in particular, if you can make a promise for what you will do so that they will keep reading, and then keep that promise, of course, then you probably have caught your reader. The second 3 sentences are going to be bullet point tips. And finally, you're going to conclude with something that will keep people excited and give them a reason to go and put your advice into practice. And that is your 5-part structure. Now you're doing all this trouble. Do you really want to lose what you have contributed there? It seems to me that it would make sense to keep a link to that article, and perhaps you even want to keep the content. So part of my master plan for the LinkedIn Top Voices program is that I keep an online document. I use Google Drive for my business work, and I have a Google Doc that is dedicated to each topic in which I want to be a top voice. So for example, I now have a document devoted to personal branding. And there I actually create a heading for each article I contribute to. And there I just copy the name of the article, and then I copy the different topics that they cover in the article. And I then include my contributions. Because although the article is AI generated, and that is not my intellectual property, my contribution is. I also know that this is a commonly searched topic, right? So this content can be of tremendous value to me as I then prepare content for the world. So I can learn from the structure that AI has provided. I don't copy that, except to copy and paste into my document, but I don't steal what they've done. I then build on that with my own answers and my own content. I also keep a link to the article. So this way I can see exactly what I've put out there, and when I am looking for ideas to share, or I want to make a new video, or I need to advise people, I already have that information ready to go. That section, my contribution, is my intellectual property, and so I can make use of this anytime I like. You could end up with a massive database of quality information that you know people are looking for. I hope that helps in the process. Now, as you're doing this, and I'd recommend doing this at least once a day for the period that you want to get qualified as a top voice, at least one contribution a day, then you're going to have a really good basis of areas. But there's something else you can do. The moment you've made your contribution on an article, you can also go and share the article with your circle. People in your circle are likely to have the same interests, right? So you share this on LinkedIn, and your contacts and your followers who are interested in your work are going to see it. And since it's already a search engine optimized topic that we know people are looking for, that article is going to help you. But you can also invite people to let you know in the comment on your post what they think about the contribution that you've made. What is their opinion on this article topic? And maybe they will contribute to the article, but that also will bring them through to your comments so that they can share their opinions and they feel heard and they have an opportunity to share their voice as well. So with this, you actually have a great way to drive more traffic to the article so that there's support for what you do. Some wonderful things start to happen when you are a LinkedIn top voice. You'll see that your profile image and your top voice badge and your expertise are displayed as the top of the article, and people can then see your contributions. That is a really nice way to promote your expertise in that area. A heads up that this has become very competitive very quickly. So the best way to be selective is go look at the exact topic that you want to be known as a top voice for, and then within that topic, find the articles that don't have too many posts yet, and go and contribute to them so you have an opportunity to be seen and to gain traction. Because when you go into an article that already has so many comments, you know it's popular, but you might not actually be seen or have an opportunity to rise to the top. So there are a couple of the tactics in your big strategy for becoming a LinkedIn top voice. Now here's what I'd like to know from you. In the comments, let me know what you want to be known as a top voice for. If you are already acknowledged, let us know that as well. Or if you want to move into a new top voices badge like I do, what would that be? Then you can also share with us any experiences you've had along the way and what strategy you are using, or what elements of this strategy you are using to build your LinkedIn Top Voices badge. And when you get it, come back and tell us. We'd love to know what your success has been. As always, remember to share your LinkedIn link or URL so that we can go and find you there, support your posts, and help you to achieve that goal of becoming a LinkedIn top voice.